To expand double brackets in Surds, we need to understand this rule here, how we call it the commutative rule. And what it basically means is, if we have A plus B in one bracket, then C plus D in another set of brackets, then we need to take everything in the first bracket, we multiply with everything in the second bracket. Let me show you. If we have A plus B in the first bracket, then C plus D in the second bracket, then this is just the same as saying we take A, we multiply by C, and it becomes a C. Then again, we multiply by D, which becomes a D. Then again, B multiplied by this C, which now becomes BC. And then finally, B multiplied by D, which becomes BD. We can apply this rule into Surds, and it becomes looks like this. So basically means if we have the root of A plus the root of B multiplied again by the root of C plus the root of D, we follow the same rule, but then in this case we'll be putting the roots because we have them. So it becomes, if I have the root of A plus the root of B, then the root of C plus the root of D, like that, the first one we need to take this A, we multiply by C, and it becomes a C. But you see, in A and C, we had the root. So we put the root after the multiplication. Then again, we go ahead and say A multiplied by this D, and it becomes a D. But because we both had the root, we still put the root. Then we go next and take B multiplied by this C, and it becomes BC. Because we had the root, we put it, and then finally we take B multiplied by D becomes BD, and because both had the root, we put it like that. So once you understand this rule like that, you can be able to expand any brackets in Surds. So let me try an example. In this first example, you are told to expand the root of 3 plus the root of 2 in the first set of brackets, then the root of 3 plus the root of 5. So the first thing, of course, we can state the rule. And automatically it says A plus B into C plus D. Then, of course, the expansion. Then next, I've just repeated this question here. And from there, now we can go to the expansion. And what I did here is, the first one I took 3 multiplied by this 3, just as they had the root of 3 multiplied by the root of 3, then plus again the root of 3 multiplied by the root of 5, which now becomes here the root of 3 multiplied by the root of 5, then plus the root of 2 multiplied by the root of 3, this set here, then finally the root of 2 multiplied by the root of 5, this set here. So from there, now is when I need to apply this rule here. And to apply it, it will be the same as taking this 3 multiplied by this 3, which now becomes 9. And you see, both had the root, so I put it. Then, in the second set, we had the root of 3 multiplied by the root of 5. So I take 3 multiplied by 5, which becomes 15. But because both had the root, I put it. Then we go to the next set, which is 2 multiplied by 3. So 2 by 3, which is 6. Now you see they had the root, so I'll put it. And then finally, I take the last set, which was 2 multiplied by 5. And 2 by 5 is 10. Then we put the root. From there, the square root of 9 is 2. So this one we can simplify. So now it becomes 3. But you see 15 doesn't have an exact square root. So then in this case, we just leave it like that. And so 6. 6 doesn't have an exact square root. So we still leave it like that. And also 10 doesn't have an exact square root. We leave it like that. So this becomes the answer for the expansion of this Surd here with double brackets. Can we try another example? So in this question 2, we are taught to expand the root of 5 plus the root of 2 of the first bracket, then the root of 5 minus the root of 2 in the second set. of brackets. The first thing, of course, we need to state the rule, the commutative rule. But the next, I just repeated the question as it is here. Then from there, again, you, of course, open the brackets first. So what I did is I take this root of 5, I multiply with this root of 5 here. That is the first set. Then the second set is again the root of 5 multiplied by the root of 2. But you see here we had a negative, and this root of 5 here is positive. So positive multiplied by negative, it will be negative. That's why I put a negative here instead of positive. So now it becomes the root of 5 multiplied by the root of 2, but with negative there. Then we go ahead and take the root of 2 multiplied by the root of 5. That will be this next set here. And then finally, we take the root of 2 multiplied by the root of 2. And because here it is positive and here it is negative, we put a negative because positive multiplied by negative is negative. Then from there, we apply our commutative rule where we said if we have this plus b, of course, plus b to expand to this. So we take 5 multiplied by 5, but because both at the root, we put it. So 5 by 5 is 25, then we put the root. Then the next set is 5 multiplied by 2. So it becomes 5 by 2 is 10. Both at the root, so we put it. Then plus the next set is the root of 2 multiplied by the root of 5. So it becomes 2 multiplied by 5, which is 10. Then we put the root. And then finally, 2 multiplied by 2, which is 4. Then we put the root of the negative here. Then from there, we can go ahead and say it becomes the root of 25 is 5, because the square root of 25, of course, is 5. Then minus the root of 10, because it doesn't have an exact square root. Then plus the root of 10 again, it doesn't have an exact square root. Then finally, minus 2, because the square root of 4 is 2. But then next we need to check, you see, the negative root of 10 plus the root of 10. This is just like taking the root of 10 minus the root of 10, which will total to 0. So this part here inside the brackets, of course, here it will total to 0. So now it becomes 5 plus 0 because of this negative root of 10 plus the root of 10, which is 0, then minus these 2. So it automatically becomes 5 plus 0, which is 5, then minus 2, which is 3. So the answer becomes 3. So that's how we expand surds with 2 brackets. If you have a question or there is a place you did not understand, you can ask me in the comment section. I'll try my level best to answer. And bye for now. Let us meet in the next lesson where we're going to explore different concept in surds.